Is it supposed to be quiet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I've properly turned on my microphone, things that we have to learn in real live time now. So, welcome again if you didn't hear me before. For item 3B, report of action taken in closed session, there was no closed session action tonight. And in the agenda hearing period, item 3C, public communications. I don't have any fancy cards saying there are people here, but are there people here to give public communication? Oh, Chris is here. Okay. So please, Chris Powell, please come on up to the podium.
Green, so we'll go. All right, my name is Chris Powell. I'm a member of the Facilities Advisory Committee, the advisory committee to the Superintendent, Dr. Moore. So I'm here to speak on the agenda item regarding the Center Street School drop-off project. So I just wanted to let you know our committee, this is actually sort of the different alternatives for this project actually came up from one of the members of our committee. It had got to the point of in some design, and one of our committee members, that's both a contractor and a parent, sort of came back and said, I really think we need to look at some ways to come up with our options with this. And we went back to the construction manager and to the architect, and they came up with this additional option. So I just want to let you know we had a survey of the committee, and 7 of the 8 members are recommending the meandering path alternative. But I also want to recognize our committee. We meet every month, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. We also attend actual on-site walkthroughs of the different projects and just sort of to advise the superintendent. So, but I just want to recognize the member of our committee as well. Other than myself, there's Franklin, who's an architect here in town. And everyone that serves on the committee is also probably a parent as well. So they have professional hat, but they also have perspective as a parent too, which is key. So Franklin, like I said, a local architect. Andrew Bart, who works for a large general contractor. Also Carolyn Elder, she's our ESTA representative. Scott Lane, who's a contractor here in town, another member of our committee. William Ochoa is the CSEA representative. And Stephanie Rasmussen or Tess, she works for a transportation consulting firm here in the local area. Mike Rotolo is a local contractor with TG. And I think that's it. And of course, we have Dr. Ferris advises us, and he's always bringing things to us. So, but it's a very good committee. When I was on the board many years ago, we couldn't have done what we did without the Facilities Advisory Committee. So I'm glad the superintendent has reinstituted that, and I think it's helpful, and it gives that community perspective, but also gets that contractor perspective, which I think is really vital. So I just want to let you know our recommendations. I can't say for the actual item, but I want to come up and at least mention it. So thank you.
We're also very pleased to have Bill Goodkin joining the committee in June.
That's right.
As a new member to fill our all our seats.
Okay, great. Any other public communications this evening? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you again, Chris, for coming up and speaking tonight and for your service. Our first special presentation tonight is a recognition of certificated and classified retiring employees. And I believe Dr. Ferris will come up and lead us in this.
Good evening, President Miller-Zarnicki, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Moore, and our folks that are watching from home. We're at that time of year every year where we're starting to celebrate our students, celebrate our closure of the year, and for some people, closure of high school and closure of elementary school and middle school. The same is true for some of our teachers who have invested enough years in their careers serving youth that they have reached a milestone where they will be retiring and moving on to the next chapter in their lives. And so this year we're celebrating 4 individuals who will be retiring after long careers serving children in El Segundo. And we have 2 of those folks who are with us tonight. 2 are already off enjoying their retirement, and I'll comment on them as well. And so after I say a few words about each individual, we'll have them come up. They'll provide us with some parting words, and then we have a token of our appreciation to share as well. So. As I mentioned, we have 4 retirees. They're all retiring teachers. We have no retiring classified staff so far this year. As I mentioned, 2 of them actually have already retired. They left at the end of the first semester. That's Linnell Harada, who is our college and career educational advisor at El Segundo High School. Dana Lund, a longtime coach and biology teacher, also from El Segundo High School. Both of them are off enjoying the fruits of retirement. Dana's on the East Coast celebrating his son's college graduation, and Linnell is visiting with her grandbaby in Nevada. So they weren't able to join us. We will make sure that they receive their retirement gift as well. And with that, I will speak to the guests that we have with us this evening. And our first guest is Miss Ann Leonard, Center Street school teacher. She's here with us this evening. Ann Leonard is retiring from a 40-year career in education. We are very fortunate that she spent the last 21 years here in El Segundo teaching at Center Street School. She's an alumnus of Mount St. Mary's College with a bachelor's degree and a master's in education. She's also a nationally board certified teacher. She started her career in private education, teaching primary grades. She spent some time as an assistant principal, actually, at a private school. And eventually, she made her way into public education in the Lawndale School District, where she spent a few years before she landed in El Segundo. Ever since then, she has been a part of the fabric of Center Street School, a staple of the Center Street family of teachers, known for providing a safe space for students to take risks and learn from self-reflection. She actively engages in collaboration with her peers and is a leader at her school. Looking through her personnel file, some of the words that were commonly used by her administrators and evaluators are collaborative, effective communicator, enthusiastic, engaging, positive, thoughtful, dynamic, effective, compassionate, creative, organized, and a lifelong learner. When I was speaking with Principal Monahan, she shared the following thoughts that I'll share with you now. Miss Ann Leonard is the quintessential elementary teacher. Adept at integrating language arts instruction into every subject, her 5th graders leave her class for middle school as powerful readers and writers. Students engage in deep discussions about literature that they have selected in their book clubs and find their own voices through their daily writing practice. Walking into Miss Leonard's classroom during a social studies class feels like taking a trip through revolutionary America or 18th century England. Passers-by may catch a slight British accent or an Irish brogue escaping from room 2 on any given day as her students delight in her joyful theatric play. Nationally board certified and beloved by her students, Miss Leonard's classroom is a well-oiled machine. She and her students respect one another in a classroom where expectations are clear and it is safe to take risks throughout the learning process. The positive impact that she has had on a generation of students in the Center Streets and El Segundo communities cannot be estimated, but it becomes absolutely clear as Eagle graduates search out Miss Leonard each year during their graduation walk. And your sense of humor, dedication, expertise, and passion for teaching and learning will be sorely missed at Center Street School, but on behalf of all the teachers and administrators who have worked with you, I wish you the very best in your next adventure. Now, if you would join us at the mic.
Oh, I get to speak now? I wanted to bring my very special teacher bag home without a teacher's bag, right? And I also brought a few books because I wanted to share a couple books with y'all. And John said that I could speak a little bit. He said I could say a few words. Did you hear that, Martha? I heard it. Okay, well. You didn't give her a minute limit, did you? Oh, thank goodness. Because, I am the writing teacher. Anyway. Oh, I would love that. And I would love to do that because I use it all day. So this is a great privilege and honor to be here. But should I pull this down? Don't touch it. Oh, thank you, Danny. All right, so I had to unfog my glasses here. So, good evening, school board members, Dr. Moore, Dr. Monahan, administrators, teachers, colleagues, aides, is that better? Family and friends, and Marisa, worked with you so long. And I brought my son, Neil, over there. He's my supporter, lifelong supporter. All my colleagues out there, aides, family, and friends. So I would really like to thank all of you for your leadership and dedication to the families and students of El Segundo. I always tell my kids, take a deep breath. Okay, so after 21 years in El Segundo, and I think more like between 35 and 40 years of teaching, it's time for you all to do your happy dance. Because I'm leaving, I'm retiring, and my grandkids taught me that happy dance, and I've never forgotten it. They're great teachers too. So you may wonder where all this began. Well, I grew up in the great state of Illinois as the seventh of 8 children. My dad was fiercely independent, and he owned his own business. And my mom kept everything in order on the home front. My parents taught us to value education, honesty, curiosity, and to have a strong work ethic. Can I take this off? Okay. And you'll see my Band-Aid. Everybody wonders about the Band-Aid, but my grandson
And interpreter switch, please hold.
said, Grammy, that doesn't look very good. Do you think I should put a Band-Aid on it? He said, yes, you should. So I put a Band-Aid on it for you, Nitai. So one memory of my childhood was when a stray dog wandered through our neighborhood. Now, we didn't have pets because we had enough animals in the house with all of the kids. But all the kids in the neighborhood rushed to pet this lost dog. When it was my turn, I looked deep into that dog's eyes as I petted it, and I asked the dog, "Who are you? Who is that hidden inside you?" The next day in my 5th grade class, I was actually in 5th grade, I raised my hand and I asked the teacher, "Do animals have souls?" She said, "No, animals do not have souls." I asked her why she thought that, and she gave me some vague answer. And I thought to myself, I know animals have souls because I saw that soul in his eyes. And thus began my quest for knowledge of the soul and the real purpose of life. So as I skip forward a few years, aren't you glad about that, Dylan? As I entered high school, my mom suggested a pathway for me, and I took some great courses and some not so great courses. But I knew that I loved theater, student government, and business. I represented our high school at the state level in student government. I received speaking parts in all of the plays, although you can't tell that right now. And I was the queen of fundraising for clubs and charities. Late in my senior year, I decided I was going to go to college. And my friend Eddie said, "Hey, what are you going to do when you graduate?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to go to college." He said, What? You can't go to college. You didn't take all the right courses. I looked at him and I said, watch me. And I enrolled in SIU and paid my own tuition with my savings that I had earned that year. And those snapshots that I've just shared with you of the events in my life highlight three things that I tried desperately to instill in my students. Curiosity. Never stop wondering, learning, and trying to improve. Guess what? After years of searching, I found an amazing book. It's called this, The Bhagavad Gita as It Is, by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. And in that book, I found the answer to my questions. I lost my spot. It described actually the transmigration of the soul and proved to me that animals and all living entities actually have a soul. It's an ancient book written in Sanskrit and translated into English with purports. Everything that I read in this book made so much sense, and it helped me to understand the real purpose of life. I never thought of becoming a teacher until I read this book. If you'd like a copy, please let me know, and I'll get you a copy, because you know how much I love to share books. And speaking of sharing books, Zoe, a former student of mine last year, she recently emailed me a picture of an Amazon package and asked, guess what's in this package? The next shot was a picture of this book. It's the third book of the Endling series. What? There's another book in this series, I responded. She said, yep, and I got it. My mom pre-ordered it for me. I was like, so then when she finished the book, Zoe wrote me a bit of a note back. Last night, I read the last chapter of Endling 3, putting a very joyful and beautiful end to the trilogy. I want to thank you so much for introducing me to this book. I never knew how much I could fall in love with book characters until I read Endling the Last. I am so grateful for finding this story, and I'm so grateful that I got lucky enough to be one of your students. I should have put this in a bigger font. And just as soon as I read the words, chapter 1 of book 1, I read the final sentence of book 3 just as quickly. The next thing I try to teach my students is determination. Always push yourself and do not let anyone tell you that you cannot reach your goal. When someone tells me that I can't do something, I think, watch me, and work even harder to reach my goal. Guess what, Eddie? I have a BS, a MS, and I'm a national board certified teacher. Children, if you apply for a grant, educational program, job, etc., and do not get accepted the first time, try harder the next time. Change your strategies. Don't give up. You'll be accepted. Right, Charlotte? That's what happened to Charlotte. She kept trying, never gave up, and she's where she wants to be now. And the work ethic. I don't know what it is about the Midwest, but those people raise people that work hard. Yeah, especially when you're in a family of 10. Over the years, I've spent thousands of hours reading and scoring your children's assignments, assessments, guiding them as readers and writers, and sharing great books, etc. One thing I will miss more than anything when I retired is reading your children's writing. It makes me laugh, cry, fills me with wonder and awe, and guides my teaching. I have to tell you, sometimes when I read children's writing, I'm like, I don't think I could write that today. That's amazing. We have great writers in El Segundo. Please don't, let's see. The children of El Segundo Unified School District have been given such incredible opportunities. Children, please don't be distracted by the games and social media. Work hard, and you will be able to change our world and take care of the earth and each other. Now, you know I did not take this journey alone, and I would like to thank my very own children for all of their support and understanding throughout my career. Neil is in the audience tonight. That's my buddy. And he actually worked as an aide at Center Street School. As we walked up, he said, I was here before when I interviewed for the aide position. And when he asked me for advice on a career path, I said, don't be a teacher. It's really hard. Guess what? Neil is a science teacher at MBMS, and I'm so glad that he did not listen to me, because he is an unbelievable teacher who trained with Teach for America and has taught hundreds of impoverished children and is now inspiring his science students to take action to save our beaches and planet. His words are always so positive and wise. Can you believe me? Believe that? My son actually counsels me on what to do in the classroom. He has great strategies. Then, of course, I have my son, Drew. I see you guys. I hope you're out there watching me. And he's married to none other than the famous Poonam Leonard, our teacher on special assignment, who helped all of us navigate distance learning and all of the new platforms. I promise you, I would not have made it through this year without Poonam Leonard. She is so patient, helpful, and we are the best of friends. She's not my daughter-in-law, she's my friend. So Poonam, Drew, and Nitai inspire me every minute of every day. They are the most incredible parents. And my oldest is my daughter and her family. Andy, Maddie, and Sarah live in Maryland, and I'm so grateful for their love and support from afar. When I visit, it seems like the weight of the world is lifted. They have so many parks and libraries in Maryland. Thank you to Martha, Luke, and all the past and present Center Street teachers, Tina, Yvette, Wes, Ruben, and Kirby, and Ruben and May and Juan and Leilani, and the aides and families and kids for your kindness, challenges to keeping me on my toes, and your support. I am so grateful for the opportunity to work with so many children here at Center Street School over the years. I actually realized it's over 1,000, because when you teach 3 or 4 groups of at least 2 groups a day, you're in the thousands. So think of all those papers. I wasn't lying, really. So I'd love to ask you to take care of each other. You are our jewels, and you are also very precious. May the Lord bless you all and keep you safe and healthy. And let me know if you want one of these books. And I did want to say a shout out to a couple other people, Joni Moon, Irma Kessler, who passed away this last summer, Kyle Bender, Valerie Sandowitz, just these great team players that I've worked with over the years, made life easier for me and such a joy. And I want to give a last shout out, of course, to my family, but PK, the spin class leader, who really helped on those stressful days. You could just write it out, and the helicopter's going to come back soon. So thank you all. Thank you, thank you. I love you all. Thank you for all that you've done for myself, the students, the families. This is an amazing community. And parents, check in on your kids. Check and see their work. Just give them a pat on the back. So let me see that. Oh my gosh, you are amazing. You got to check in on them, because you know what they say? I'm finished. I did it. And then they get to school and maybe it's not quite finished. So check in on them and maybe limit those hours on the screens. Okay, thank you all. Take care. Sorry.
And before you go, we have just a small parting gift, which is your retirement plaque in appreciation for your years of service to the students and staff at El Segundo Unified.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on now to our next retiree.
interpreter switch. Hold, please.
And I'd like to recognize Miss Meredith Beachley. I don't think there's a person in El Segundo who doesn't know Miss Beachley. She's like Ms. El Segundo. But she spends most of her time teaching math and science at El Segundo Middle School. A couple of her accomplishments here in El Segundo Unified include the implementation of the Outdoor Science School program, which is, a mainstay here in El Segundo. It is a tried and true tradition now, and we owe that to Miss Beachley, who's been running that program every year since it started. She's taken many kids to Astro Camp, and she's really just been a model of being a lifelong learner and lover of science. When I get ready for these things, I flip through their personnel files just to see if there's anything in there I should call out. And I was pleasantly surprised to find a whole packet in there about the year that she went to space camp. And I don't mean she took kids to space camp. I mean, she went to space camp herself. Like, that was her vacation, was to go to space camp. And that's the kind of passion she has for the subject and the kind of passion she brings back to students here in El Segundo. And we've all been so fortunate and blessed to have her as part of the team here. Personally, I'm in human resources. I work on the bargaining team and with the bargaining teams. Meredith has been on the bargaining team the entire time that I've been here, and it has just been a pleasure working with her. I've certainly appreciated her demeanor, her affable demeanor, and really her candor. If you know Meredith Beachley, she doesn't pull any punches. A little bit more about her. I think if you know Meredith, you know she's from Kansas. She worked as a teacher long before she came to El Segundo. She worked at Central Middle School in Kansas City from '82 to '99. She earned her bachelor's in science at Emporia State University and a master's from Mid-America Nazarene. She loves the Chiefs. I think you're probably aware that she loves the Chiefs. During football season, you can find Miss Beachley working the chain gang at our own ESHS football games on Friday nights, and you can find her planted at the Standard Station on Sundays to watch her beloved Kansas City Chiefs. Her devotion to her team, her students, and the community was rewarded a couple of years ago, you may recall, when the community raised funds and sent her off to watch the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl. And I can't think of anybody more deserving. A few notes from her administrators. First, from Dr. Gooden, her former principal. I can't think of anyone more dedicated to El Segundo Middle School than Meredith Beachley. A true bulldog at heart, Meredith touches the life of every single child in her presence. In addition to teaching math, science, and design lessons, she makes every student in her class feel loved, confident, and capable. A positive energy always radiates from Meredith's classroom. It was a true privilege to work with Meredith during my tenure at ESMS. Principal Wright says, to be honest, I do not know how we'll start school in August without Meredith. Meredith is beloved by students, parents, and teachers because she is fearless, she is tough yet compassionate, and she loves her students. Fueled by Dr. Pepper, the love for the Chiefs, and her yearly trip to OSS, Meredith Beachley has never wavered in her commitment to her students. This was never more evident than during the COVID shutdown. Meredith worked with her team to create new and innovative lessons for her students. For someone who claims to not be tech savvy, Meredith worked with multiple screens, computers, and Elmos to provide engaging lessons for her students. She is the aunt to many staff members, always available for advice and consultation. Meredith gives you the answer you need, not necessarily the answer you want. She is a leader on campus. I'm honored to have been able to learn from Meredith for the last 18 months. There will be a huge hole in the JM 101. ESMS loves you, Meredith. Congratulations on your retirement. We will miss seeing you on campus every day, but we know you will not be able to stay away. And with that, we'd like to bring you up.
Have my Chiefs on. What can I say? Okay, I'm glad I have a microphone because I actually have a little vocal cord issue going on right now. So I've been teaching for 39 years, and I think my voice has just finally said, yeah, I'm done. All the cheering, all the yelling, all the football games, all the stuff, and my voice is finally just kind of given out on me right now. So kind of bear with me. There is absolutely no way I can follow that. Like, seriously? Are you kidding me? So I'm going to pull out my props, and I'm going to pull out my speech. Oh yeah, I don't have one. Because I'm going to do this just like I do my classroom. I fly by the seat of my pants most of the time, and I always have, and I always will, and I will be honest, and I will be upfront, and I will expect the absolute best out of my students, because that's what I do. And it's time, and this is really, really hard. It's really hard to say goodbye. This has become a wonderful community. When Dr. Fair shared the little Super Bowl thing, I still tear up every time I tell that story, and I do tell it all the time. A lot of times to people who don't really give a, like I'm standing in a line, I go, want to hear the time I got to go to the Super Bowl? Yeah, I got to go. My town sent me. I don't know if you all know this, but the Tuesday after the Super Bowl, when the Chiefs beat the 49ers, by the way, if any of you ever watch K-Earth 101, or listen to K-Earth 101, they have Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. So I called them up at, like 6:30 in the morning, said, I'll tell you something good. Want to hear my story? And I told them my story about how this town has embraced me and sent me to the Super Bowl, and I got to watch my Chiefs win. And I won Tell Me Again Something Tuesday. And so they called me in class, and I'm like, should I answer the phone in class? Sure, I will. So I answered the phone, and I told my kids, I go, guys, it's K-Earth. It's K-Earth 101. And a couple of kids were like, K-Earth 101. And so they sang to K-Earth 101, and it was so exciting. I have lots of people I can thank. I don't have the list, but you all know, everybody in this room I've talked to, you all know who I am and how much I appreciate you all. My colleagues at school, all my colleagues in ESTA. I'm a firm believer in the union. I've fought very hard for all of us in the union. I've been on the bargaining team, as they said. I've gone to 15 representative assemblies all over the United States, representing teachers, because that's what I do. I firmly believe in what I do. I'm a little sad that it's time to go, but it is. It's time to go. I'm going to be around. I'm planning on doing, well, I've already promised Susie croissants. So let's be honest, we all know Susie needs a croissant every once in a while. Those of you who have been to middle school, right? Everybody's nodding. But I'm also planning on hopefully doing some work with the Ed Foundation. I'd like to do some work with, well, I haven't decided yet. Actually, I want to get a job at SoFi. I'd like to be the chain person for the Rams, but I don't think I have the pull. Like I don't know where you go for that. But Mike, if you know anybody, I'm just saying, I've got experience. Most of it's JV, but I did get moved up to varsity this year. So we only had one game, but I did a really good job. I'm just saying. So if you know anybody, I am out there.
Awesome.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I started 5 minutes early. I'm like, what? Okay. but-
Really? I'm sorry. I thought it were okay.
I always love watching other people's choices and how they sign. It's
Yeah.
always fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know what.
Oh wait, is it my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi? You're freezing. Say that again, Sharnett. You're freezing on my end.
No, the sign for Super Bowl.
Oh, you did great. Is it just SB? You did great with football game.
I just watched the Marley Matlin. I redid that one for my choice. I need to talk about. I don't know. There's different signs.
Got you.
Yeah, I did not prep as much as I wished, but
Yeah, I didn't either. Sharnett, you did really well using space and eye gaze.
Mhm.
Like, people, do you know this lady? And then Lyndsi, you have very like strong control over your movements. Very intentional with your movement.
Thank you. Well, yeah, you guys did awesome. Sharnett, like your inflection, like to show that she was telling everybody, sharing the information with everybody, like I really like that. It wasn't just like sharing information, it was like emphasize that it was continued to be shared with many people.
Yeah.
So, and Ryan, awesome. Your processing time is
Really? So that's been my focal point because I'm always right there, and then I'm like,
yeah, you.
And he didn't
And
even
then
prep.
yeah, and even if like you process like even more processing time, increased it, you didn't. If you omitted something, it was like not important. Didn't affect the goal.
yeah, like the names and then like the titles of
Oh
who they
yeah.
are. Like, ooh, that's a lot.
No, I don't think. Yeah, that was like. So I was like gonna feed you, but I'm like, no, that's not affecting the goal or changing the meeting. So.
Thanks, guys. It was fun. It was fun.
It was really
Less than
fun.
a minute. I know it's gonna kick us off.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have a good rest of the internship. Good luck. And Ryan, send me your number so
Yes, I
we
will.
can
Hopefully, we
possibly
see
take a picture.
a drive-by picture or a run-by picture.
Yes.
All right. See you
Okay.
guys later.
Bye.